really shouldn't.
Yeah.
But if you just like, it's just that quick, then yeah, you're gonna want to do something to get it back.
But that's the thing. The bigger person would stop and think before they act. Really think. You know, if that person's really that bad and they're that mean and that ugly, it's gonna come back on you, whether you do anything or not.
It depends what kind of revenge because some people need a taste of their own medicine. Like,
That doesn't mean you have to be the one to give it.
I know, but there's like, if you look around, there's so many people here saying, "Oh my gosh, they are so mean. They need to get a kick in the butt." Like,
Well,
and the thing with Heathcliff, like Katie said, I think he needed to put on big boy panties and get over it.
Yeah.
Well, in the story, Catherine also says that if she's with Heathcliff, then they'll become beggars because he has nothing, and then she's a woman, so she doesn't earn anything. But I also had a question related to this. Heathcliff's motives are all portrayed as strictly revenge, but in some parts of the story, like when he goes away and comes back, it doesn't become revenge because he tells Catherine, "Oh no, although you're telling me Isabella's interested in me, trying to make me, you're making yourself jealous, trying to prove a point." He then takes that situation and turns it into revenge. It wasn't his original motive, but then he seeked it out just because he thought, okay, I'm going to get over on Edgar, and then I'm going to get over on Henley. It's like it wasn't his original motive, but then again, it came to his mind like, okay, these people have treated me this way, so now that I have this type of opportunity, should I take it? So it's like he second guessed it. Well, he thought about it before he did it, but he did it out of pure revenge. And then he has Harrington, the boy at the house. He could easily, have kicked him out of the estate because now he owns everything. So in some ways, even though Joseph and everybody treated him that way, Joseph's still around, Harrington's still in the house. So in some ways, his revenge is not completely, I don't think his revenge that was taken was completely bad. It's like he just it was like he taught them a lesson.
But my thing is now he's made Kathy miserable basically, or Catherine. He made Edgar miserable. Isabella, who had nothing to do with the situation at all, and only had a crush on him, a really strong crush, he made her miserable. And now he's got her child, Linton, or their child, Linton, and he's going to make his life miserable. And Harrington didn't have any point in this. His life's miserable. And then we find out that Kathy, Edgar and Catherine's daughter, ends up living with Heathcliff. So it's like, okay, you're mad at Catherine, and you're kind of mad at Edgar too. So you take revenge on every single person around them. You make every other person's life miserable. And even, in turn, you make your own life miserable. Why couldn't he have just been like, well, she made her decision, she doesn't love me, the end, moved on?
I think at a point he did do that until he came back, and then it became, oh well, I'll be friends to the family, and then Catherine became the jealous one who was trying to, make Isabella, because they had such a strong friendship. So Isabella had no room to have a crush on him because she didn't even know him for real. So it was like, I think the turns really took when he came back and Catherine caused this reboost of feelings, or this reboost of, oh, well, we're going to be the old, evil, conniving children we once were.
I think his leaving was also a part of revenge as well, though, because the main reason he left was because he misheard Catherine. He heard her say that she was going to marry Edgar, but he didn't hear the part where she said she still really loves him. And so he left. He left for 3 years, and while he was gone, he not only educated himself, he became more sophisticated and like put on a front of better manners, as well as got wealthy. So like from all the people who treated him like he was a low-class servant, he came back and showed him, no, I'm not a low-class servant. Now I'm educated, now I'm sophisticated, and handsome. I have just as much as you all have. That, I feel like, was step one in his revenge, to show them that I'm not going to turn out the way you wanted me to be. And with Edgar, I feel like he didn't, in the beginning, he didn't want revenge on him, and like, as you said, kind of having, and he took that chance, but Henley, he wanted the revenge on Henley from the get-go. Like, he never
did
let
that
that
when he
go.
got back with the gambling and stuff. So
Yeah.
that was, I just think the whole Thrushcross, that estate, I think that was like by chance. Like it just happened.
It happened. He could have not done it, but then it was pretty much given to him. The chance was thrown in his hands.
I'd like to know what you guys think the theme of this novel is, other than revenge. Because you see some interesting pictures of light and dark and happiness. And I don't know.
I think our novel has many things besides, well, revenge, and there's the romance and nothing tones to it, but it also has obsession and love in it as well. It was clearly an intense love between Catherine and Heathcliff or whatever, and there was love throughout the entire novel. And the obsession, their love was obsessive towards each other. Like, love never ended, and his love was so obsessive that he sought revenge, and then he became obsessed with revenge as well. And there was a lot of death.
Everybody. Oh, I think you said that.
Okay, can I ask a question? Okay, do you think alcohol contributes to abuse, like in Henry's case? But I'm saying like today.
Yeah.
I feel like you definitely can, depending on the person. I mean, some people get drunk and they laugh themselves to sleep. Some people get drunk and they're mean and angry and nasty. And I mean, the mean and angry and nasty people definitely could be abusive to their children. That's why I really don't feel like drinking is a smart thing.
And it also depends on why you get drunk. Like, if somebody goes out and gets drunk to have fun, then they're going to get drunk and have fun and probably act really stupid. That doesn't mean they're going to come home and abuse everybody. But if you're getting drunk to mask feelings, as in Henry's case, he started getting drunk after his wife died. And his wife was really the only person he really loved. He resented his father after he brought home Heathcliff. He resented Catherine for loving Heathcliff. He resented everybody except his wife. And so, he began to resent his child. But he really, really loved his wife. So when she died, like, and up till the very second she died, he was in denial. She's not gonna die. She's fine. She's not even sick. She's just a little tired.
So you think he drunk to like ease his pain?
Mm-hmm. And so since he never dealt with the pain, when he drunk, he let the pain out on others by inflicting pain on them. So, yeah, alcohol can certainly contribute to abuse, because I don't believe he would have been nearly as abusive if he didn't get drunk first. He probably would have been really rude and mean, but.
Good question. So do you, since, he's taking revenge out on everybody, do you think that he may have loved her more than she loved him?
Who loved
Heathcliff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because like Kelly said, he was kind of obsessive.
Yeah.
Like, since Heathcliff is doing all this revenge stuff, do you think that he loved her more than she loved him? Because she looks like she's having a pretty fine.
Yeah.
He was more obsessive over her though.
My thing with Heathcliff was, he walked in on her having a conversation with Nellie, and she basically told Nellie, I really love Heathcliff. And I can't remember how much Heathcliff heard of this conversation, where he walked out.
Where she was like, right, and then you walked out.
Well,
She said, marrying him would be to degrade myself, because although Henry,
yeah.
You don't become better.
yeah, and then that's when he walked out, because he was angry with her, so he didn't make it.
So she basically insults him, says, well, I could marry him, but I'd be bored, and I'd probably be happy, and I think Heathcliff took that to heart. He's like, well, that's really, really shallow of you to say that. You love me, yet you want money, you want comfort more than you want me, more than you want a happy life. So she got a happy life, she got a comfortable life, she got a good husband. I mean, he wasn't her soulmate, but she ended up okay. And I think that really ticked Heathcliff off, that she would, leave him for that.
In the end, he still always loved her, but I feel like she really, really did love him, but you also have to take into account the time period. Back then, you were, like, women, back then, marriage wasn't about love. It was about status and class and money.
Yeah, because you probably.
And
Unless you're reading Pride
This
and
kind of
Prejudice.
reminded me of Pride and Prejudice though, like
Me
the
too.
vice versa of Pride and Prejudice. How she wanted, like, Catherine, she wants Heathcliff because of the affection, but she wants Linton because of the status. And she feels like, okay, I'll marry Linton and me and Heathcliff can still have that friendship. So I think in a sense she felt like she never lost anything. Like their love could have been the same for each other, because as soon as she found out that Isabella was interested in Heathcliff, she like got jealous and was like, oh, well, he'll never love you. And you don't know the kind of person he is. He's not a lovable person. He doesn't like anyone. Because even throughout the story, she has this whole evilness about her too. Like when she wants to starve herself to death because Heathcliff left, and she wants everybody to feel pity or feel sorry for her. It's like they have the same amount of affection, but he shows it in a different way. His is more effective than hers because he's a man. So when he takes over, he really takes over. And her dying doesn't do anyone good, but that's all she can do is be gone. So I feel like they have the same.
His was more outward, like hurting other people, while hers was inward, hurting herself.
Yeah, she felt like if she hurt herself, then people would care and they'd hurt for her.
So she only sympathy.
I wonder what y'all thought of the scene right before Edgar asked Catherine to marry him, and I forget what happened, but basically Catherine got really mad and she told Nellie to leave. Nellie wouldn't leave, and then Hareton was there and she got annoyed with him. She went to hit him or shook him or whatever.
He like saw the real side of her.
And he tried to pull her off and she smacked at him. And he left, and then the author puts in this thing about he had no more power to leave than a cat has to leave a mouse halfway killed. And that kind of struck me. The scene just felt like it had a lot of importance to the novel. I wanted to see what you guys thought of that. Not much of a question.
I think it shows like her how destructive she can be towards people, but that they keep coming back like Edgar. Like she is so mean to everybody.
Why do you think they come back with this?
I feel like that the comparison made him seem like a punk. In my opinion, like
Was cat.
yeah, you compared a man to a cat. And I felt like, I mean, cats are kind of looked at as fragile little animals. And
What if it were a big cat though, like mountain lion sort of cat? It doesn't- They made another comparison. I can't remember what it
cats
was.
are called.
that also, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I don't even think it was so much of how a cat is to like what you would call a cat.
Yeah.
Well, cats have an instinct to kill as well, and I think that's what
Katie, I
She
think
must
you're
be a cat lover.
I know what she's saying. I'm not taking that forward. I'm talking about that.
I think that's what the author meant though. Because if I think of a cat, I think of someone like sneaky and quiet that can get over on you.
I think it goes back to the beginning where Nellie said that he was kind of like a mama's boy.
Yeah.
Edgar, so he was kind of weak. He was
Yes, he was plus like I probably wouldn't have thought so much of him being a punk being compared to a cat if in previous chapters it didn't say how he cried a lot. I mean, I know he was a child,
There was
but
another
all little
comparison.
boys don't cry like that.
Because I didn't take that from me. Here it is.
I felt like couldn't stick to his word. He said, I'm leaving. I have the right to leave. You hit me. Why should I stay?
And then he came back.
Yeah.
He did stick to his word when she pretended to be sick. It's like he got more used to her. He like while she pretended to be sick upstairs, not eating and not drinking anything, he read his book.
Well, that's when he was a grown man. So he had time to grow out of being a punk.
Okay, so it says, he possessed, the soft thing looked askance through the window. He possessed the power to depart, as much as a cat possesses the power to leave a mouse half killed or a bird half eaten. I felt like they were saying more, because animals, prey animals have an instinct in them to kill smaller animals, to eat them. That's how you survive. And I think that's almost what they meant by this. Like he couldn't walk away because that instinct in him said, go back to her, go back to her. Not that he was a punk or a cat. Because I don't see a cat necessarily as weak or a punk. Because, I don't know.
I do when it's compared to a cat.